somehow, for everything in this world, it actually takes time to get into it, right? When we do 5 minute kirtan or a little kirtan, or not just kirtan, anything, initially our mind is everywhere distracted. But then after 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes, then we start actually becoming present, coming into the kirtan, and then by 20 minutes, 30 minutes, then actually if you feel that's why in so many temples they do 24-hour kirtan. Have you all ever attended a 24-hour kirtan? Sometimes it happens in so many temples, they have festival, 24-hour kirtan, 72-hour kirtan. And it seems like, oh my God, it's 1 for 10. And it does feel like that. So initially when you sit after 10, 15, 20 minutes, then it feels good. But then again after 45 minutes, it starts feeling restless. But something happens after 1 or 2 hours, then suddenly you fully tune in. The next 6 hours, you won't believe yourself. I used to go for these kirtans, I would be like, I'm going to get so bored because I don't like kirtan. Initially, it's okay, tune is good, this, that, after 20, 45 minutes, but you just keep yourself, allow yourself, and suddenly you go into a beautiful state of like a samadhi. And you can really relish the kirtan, and you feel such divine, you feel the presence of the deities of Krishna, you feel everybody devotees, and you feel like you're back to Godhead, you feel like you're very inspired. So now, maybe for the next till 8:30, can we go for 1 hour?
Yes.
Is that okay?
Yes.
We'll do one topic. So I have some sheets. And Nagesh will take this out. And if you can take one and pass it on. So we'll discuss this. I don't know how much you'll be able to finish. Usually I plan over ambitiously and I think I'll do so much topics in little time. But at least we will cover some of the core concepts. How many sheets we have total?
12.
12. So maybe we can share. Two can we make pairs and share. Make that so okay. Okay, so let's do a short, quick prayer and then we will begin. तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य विश्वधारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. And let us also make a heartfelt prayer that we've taken this time in a busy, life is always busy, but we've all taken our time. And so let's pray to Shri Krishna Balaram, Gopinath, Tulsi Maharani, Srila Prabhupada, that this discussion and our time together this evening really enriches all our spiritual lives, and we learn and we apply and go closer to Krishna. And also for the next 1 hour, let us keep aside everything else from our minds and just be fully present and really open our intellect and open our mind and just think about this, our discussion, and worship Krishna with our intelligence in this way. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, You worship me by your intelligence, by trying to understand the philosophy, trying to understand what is bhakti, asking some questions, becoming and really applying it in our life. Okay. So let us begin. This is a very does this topic sound interesting? Remaining steady in times of adversity. Does how many of you relate to this topic? How many of our lives have we faced adversity? Anybody has faced adversity?
Yeah,
Everyone
everybody.
does, of course.
Everyone.
True. At least in our lives, maybe the little children are still not yet have to face the adversities of life, but we know life can be so adverse. And in fact, as we grow in our life more and more, it seems that life only becomes more and more difficult, more and more tough, more and more, you know, when I was small, when I was in 9th grade, I was told, just finish your 10th grade exam and everything will be, then note it there, all life will be good. And we all studied only on that promise. Okay, I will finish 10, then then you do what you want. And I thought, okay, 10th standard, then finish. But after that, hardly 1 month vacation, hey, now which class, where you want to join this at? And then came 12th grade in the Indian setting, or here in high school. And that barely got over, then college, and it just got more and more intense. And after college, I used to feel, okay, maybe job life will be easier, no exam, no tension like this. Job life even worse.
Every day exam.
Every day, every day. And then more and more, you don't know whether tomorrow you'll reach and the boss says, bye, layoffs are happening, or what is happening, where is happening, and life only gets tougher. Life only gets more and more. The Prabhupada uses a word called perplexity. And it's a very interesting word. He says in the purport to Bhagavad Gita 2.7, he says that just like a forest fire, nobody starts a forest fire, correct? Like we hear California, so many forest fires happen in this world, but nobody starts a forest fire, still it happens. Nobody wants a fire, still it happens. He says that is the nature of our life. We don't want suffering, we don't want pain, we don't want complexities and confusions and perplexity. We want simple life, we want easy life. But no matter how much we try, the nature of this world is it's a place of perplexity. Does anybody remember any shlokas from Bhagavad Gita which Krishna talks about the nature of the world being a place of very nice, very nice, yes, very good. Mamupritya punarjanma dukkhalayam ashashvatam apnuvanti mahatmana samsiddhim paramam gati. He says that those great souls, they achieve me leaving this place of dukkhalayam ashashvatam. Krishna's words are very negative. It almost seems like, why is being so negative? Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. At least he could have told Arjuna, ye theek hai, par udhar bhi acha hai. He doesn't say that. He says, ye dukkhalaya hai. It's a place of suffering. And then the other one you quoted nicely, Matra Sprisha Sitoshna Sukha Dukkha Daha Tamasitisha, that happiness and distress is like
Cold and
yes, the seasons. Can any of us avoid? Is there any technology or any place in this world or any person or who has figured out, I only live in summer, I only live in perfect climate? Not possible. We can prepare for it, sure. We can know, like all of us now are kind of prepared. We are wearing this light clothes this time, but in November we wear certain different clothes. But the reality won't change. Winter, summer won't change. Same way, in our lives, one thing is guaranteed: happiness, distress will keep coming and going. Nobody can avoid it. And that is why a topic like this becomes very relevant. That how do we remain steady in times of adversity? Remaining steady in times of happiness is usually easy. Usually. Sometimes if you become too happy, then you leave bhakti altogether, maybe. जो भगवान के पास आया था मिल गया, return ना. That may also happen. But usually, at least, we being good devotees and knowing the importance of spiritual life, we won't. But tough times are testing times. what kind of questions come in our, what kind of doubts or what kind of negative thoughts come in our minds when we go through tough times?
Why is this life?
Exactly, why? Why is this happening to me? Why this kind of life? What did I do wrong? What are any other thoughts?
God is unfair.
God is unfair, absolutely. Okay, am I a bad person? I'm doing, I'm doing spiritual life. I've come from a good family, or I follow good habits, or etc. etc. Why is it unfair? And especially when we see at the same time someone who's leading a very bad life, having a good time, having any other kind of thoughts. Which kind? During this negative time.
Will this ever end?
Will I?
Will this ever end?
Will this ever end? When unhappiness and distress comes, what is that? Mamishra, you said something?
Yes, and when it
Acha.
is going to end.
Correct. When it happens, it feels like it is. It's like, when is this going to end? So based on
How do I get out?
yes, how do I get out? Sometimes it really seems difficult. Sometimes it seems like there's no solution. All this, it may seem, but we as devotees have a very special position. Let me. Jai Shri Krishna Balaram Ki
Jai.
So let us start with something which will make us even more depressed today. Then we go to the good part. So one day, I'm reading this second paragraph here. One day, Yudhishthira Maharaj was sitting in with Krishna. Okay, but just one question before that. If Krishna was with us like he was with the Pandavas, right? Krishna was with us like this. He used to sit, he'll have food with them, he'll sleep with them, play with them, everything. If Krishna himself was there, would you expect your life to be like, भगवान साथ में है तो कौन किसका क्या बिगाड़ेगा, चलो मजे करेंगे? Isn't it?
Yes.
But was the Pandavas' life like that?
No.
Why? Krishna साथ में, Krishna's right there. He could have done anything. He could have. He's the supreme controller, the supreme. What was his problem? What did he want more? They loved him. Was there anything lacking from the Pandavas' side? They were fully surrendered, pure devotees. They loved Krishna. Whatever he wanted, they did. But still, why he didn't help them in their life in certain times? Why he allowed them? Okay, he did help, but it seemed like he didn't completely avoid the problem. When the problem came, then he came. Correct? द्रौपदी का वस्त्र हरण होने ही वाला था, then he came. पर होने क्यों दिया? When they were, why they had to go to Vanvas for 14 years? ठीक है, they won Mahabharat, fine, but why they had to go to Vanvas? Someone may ask that question. So Yudhishthir one day asked this question to Krishna, directly, face to face, not indirectly. सामने सामने नका मोदी. भगवान है ना, बोल. Why? And the question he asked was that why do you give suffering in the life of a devotee? Is it a fair question? Correct? Is there any devotee you know? Forget about those who are not connected to Krishna so much. Right? Everybody in the world is suffering, true. But if someone is connected to Krishna, do you know anybody who was connected to Krishna did suffer? Had a wonderful life. Amazing. Prabhupada. How was Prabhupada's life? From the beginning of his life to the end of it. Not that ISKCON bana diya, then his life was, the 11 years was the most of time. In the second year itself, the first year, 1967, he established, 1968, some of the disciples wanted to take over, throw him out of the country. He had to run away from New York, he had to run to, I think he goes to Florida for some days, till those devotees, something is done. Same people whom he did. When he remember he was living with David, that boy, for 30 days he lived. And it seemed, he felt he's right. If you read Prabhupada's diaries, he used to maintain a diary, he writes, this is going to be my first American disciple. Prabhupada was so positive. 30 days happened. And one day Prabhupada is sitting, suddenly David comes in the door with a knife. Prabhupada had to run for his life with 2 suitcases and didn't know where to go. One month effort finished. Old man in the winter of America. And whole life, whole 11 years was like that. No, Krishna didn't. Why? So Yudhishthira is asking, why Krishna? To your devotees if you do, we may think, अरे कृष्णा एटलीस्ट एडवर्टाइजमेंट सेक के लिए आपके भक्तों को खुश रखोगे तो दूसरे भी भक्त बनेंगे मार्केटिंग तो ठीक से करो if your devotees are only suffering so much who will become your devotee why don't you show that you become my devotee life will be live life king size once you become my devotee at least that makes sense but Krishna answered very heartfelt honest scary answer a little bit but let's see what he says are you ready for this answer Krishna said, if I especially favor a devotee and especially wish to care for him, the first thing I do is take away his riches. When the devotee becomes a penniless beggar or is put into a comparatively poverty-stricken position, his relative and family members no longer take interest in him. And in most cases, they give up their connection with him. The devotee then becomes doubly unhappy. Oh my God! Can you believe? अगर किसी ने ये पढ़ लिया ना, हमारा सब बंद हो जाएगा ISKCON का शटर. अगर किसी ने ये पढ़ लिया कि ऐसा भगवान ने डायरेक्टली बोला है, ऐसा वर्ड्स फ्रॉम द भागवत. Then Krishna continues. First of all, the devotee becomes unhappy. Because his riches have been taken away by Krishna, and he's made even more unhappy when his relatives desert him because of his poverty. However, when a devotee falls into miserable condition in this way, it is not due to past pious activities known as karma phala. It's not his karma phala. The poverty of a devotee is the creation of the personality of Godhead. तो और भी खतरनाक बोल रहे हैं. Now he's saying it is not even the karma of the devotee. I am done all this. This sounds like Krishna is so sadistic. So मतलब हमारे दुख में उनका सुख है. हमें दुखी देखकर he is becoming happy. Why is he doing this? And then he says, similarly, when a devotee becomes materially opulent, that also is not due to his pious activities. In either case, whether a devotee becomes poorer or richer, the arrangement is made by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This arrangement is especially made by Krishna for his devotee, just to make him completely dependent upon him and to free him from all material obligations. So this statement by Krishna, I'm just skipping a little ahead on the next page if you want. The second paragraph. Another question may be raised. What is the difference between a devotee and a common man, since both are put into different kinds of happiness and distress? That's a good question. Devotee के दुख में और एक साधारण व्यक्ति के दुख में, what is the difference between the suffering of both? Sorry, does everyone understand Hindi? No, right? Okay, I'll speak only in English. So, what is the difference then between the suffering of a spiritual person or a Krishna conscious person and a non-devotee? If both are suffering, then what's the difference? And the difference, Krishna is saying again, is that it is his doing. It may look the same, but just like, suppose there is a car, and a car is owned by a person, and the person sells the car to another person. The ownership of the car changes, but the car externally looks the same, correct? The ownership changes. Now when the ownership changes, a new owner may decide to repaint the car, change some interiors, change something, or may decide to let it continue. In either case, the ownership has changed. Same way for us in our lives. When we come to Krishna, when we surrender to Krishna, the ownership of our life has changed. It may appear that my suffering is same as the suffering of somebody else. I am getting fired, he is also getting fired. I am going through trouble, but the ownership has changed. It is Krishna personally who begins to do things in the life of a devotee. For what reason? What is the reason Krishna does that?
So that you can quickly go back to that.
Exactly.
Yes. So that just as Krishna is saying, this statement seems so harsh. Directly he's telling Yudhishthira, I take away his riches, I do this, I do that. Of course, Krishna is talking in a very extreme, like a very extreme statement. He doesn't really do that. Right? He does just enough to allow us to go back to Krishna quickly and easily and actually in a very nice way. Because in a devotee's life, when we are going through adversity, when we are going through a tough time, sometimes it is difficult to see Krishna's hand. But usually after that we can see. Have you all had this experience in your life where today you look back at something which was not, at that time it was a lot of painful, but today you think, could it happen?
Yeah.
Isn't it? That yes, that was the right thing for me. That is Krishna's plan. That is how Krishna operates in the life of a devotee. And that's why. Okay, so I'm going to ask you the questions which are mentioned on the first page. Okay. This was a group activity, but let's do it all together so we can go for the next. Question 1. Why should there be troubles in my life after I become a devotee? Does Krishna not protect his devotees? What do you think? And yes? So, okay, part 1. Why should there be troubles in my life after I become a devotee? Why? Because?
Lesson.
Is it karma? Now you have become a devotee.
Yeah.
What you're going through, is it your karma?
Yeah, because of the past actions.
True, but also not true.
Okay.
That's what we just said. Krishna says he takes over everything. He may continue to, so he becomes in charge of us basically, and he may choose. Okay, just to give you a clear technical idea of what's going on, the jiva, all of us, in this material creation are under Durga's name, Durga's laws. Durga actually means a jail. And Durga is the keeper of the jail. She is like the warden, right? The warden. The warden makes sure, iska kitna 10 saal, uska 20 saal, 20 years, solitary. This one doesn't. The warden does the warden have a heart for anybody? Doesn't have. The person who comes in the jail will punish till he learns his lessons, suffer and leave. Warden doesn't have. That is Durga's role in this world. That is the Shakti role. That's why she has a Trishul. The Trishul is the threefold miseries. Adivautik, Hidayavik, and Adhyatmik. The threefold miseries, she continuously punishes the living entities. And in one hand, she has everybody's karma. Oh, you did this. Oh, you did this. Yamaraj keeps note, passes on to Durga. Yamaraj takes charge of us after we die, decides where we'll go next. During our life, we have 13 witnesses all the time: sun, moon, the directions, the Paramatma. Who else?
Five elements.
Maybe I'm also forgetting. So Bhagavatam and the 13 witnesses, continuously everything is recorded. Paramatma is in the heart, and then Durga continuously is giving us punishment. And so this is the setup of the jail. That's how everything is happening. But when we become a devotee, suddenly our paper goes from the warden's hand into the special person's hand. And this special person is much powerful than everybody in the jail. From that day, the warden knows, everybody knows, this prisoner is not my responsibility. That I will handle directly. The prisoner doesn't understand what happened from that day. I am still in the jail, I am still eating jail food, but he doesn't know that above everything, the warden no longer is taking care of him. Somebody else is deciding everything in his rest of his prison sentence. And that special person is making sure, oh, he had a 20-year sentence, I will get out in 2 years. He may feel more suffering, maybe. But which is better? Would you rather, if you were in a jail and your jail sentence was 20 years, would you rather do little extra effort and do little more suffering and get out in 2 years? Or no, I want to remain 20 years? What would we prefer? Right? Same way in our life, we may feel that why is so much happening in my life, etc. But Krishna is a little bit fast forwarding our prison sentence and making us learn the lessons we are supposed to learn fast forward speed, 3, 5x, 8x speed, quickly, so that this quickly we can end our prison sentence. Right? So coming back to your point, yes, it's true, we are kind of going through karma phala, true, but now it is no longer Durga who's giving us that karma phala. It is Krishna who's now administering it. I'll ask you another question. Suppose a child one day steals $100, okay, and the father finds out, and the police also find out. What punishment do you think the police will give versus what punishment will the father give? What will the police do?
Arresting father will be more strict.
Yes. Arrest him, go through some punishment, etc. And the father?
Very strict.
Okay. Do you think of the two, who will, okay, let's, suppose it's a adult, okay, it's a 25-year-old adult. Now the police catches him versus the father punches. And it's a $1,000 robbery. Who will punch more?
Father.
Police or father?
Father.
Police.
25.
Irrespective father.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would do.
What?
I would also think that the police won't care. Police is neutral. Whatever has to be done, they'll bring him in first, they'll beat him black and blue. Because he has to say, what happened is that. Then he goes to jail and he's under custody, criminal custody, suffering. No, they won't care whether he's eaten or not eaten or this or that or that. He's going to go through a tough time. The punishment for stealing the $1,000, suppose only the father found out. The father will be really upset. But the father will slap him once or twice. The father will make him call, give back his hand. How many days will he punish? Will he arrest him? Will he beat him black and blue? Will he not feed him? Come, it is his father. How much his heart will break to him to really. That is the difference between Durga and Krishna giving our punishment. Krishna also knows big, but once Krishna's heart is too soft, he can't really give us punishment. So would we rather be in Durga's hands or would we rather be in Krishna's hands? Would we rather punishment by police or punishment by father? Which one would you prefer? That is Krishna. So yes, the devotee is giving the karma, Krishna is giving, the devotee is suffering karma phala, but it's coming from a different source. And that's why it changes actually. The nature of that punishment changes. That is one thing we should be sure about. When we are going through the tough times in our life, we should be 100% sure. There's a shloka very beautiful, Brahma quotes to Krishna in his prayers. Says, and so Prabhupada used to quote this shloka very often. Maybe you heard it. Tattena kampam susamikshamano bhunjana evatma kritam vipankam ridavava purvir vidadhan namaste jive tayo mukti pade sadayanak. And he says that Krishna, the devotee, whole life he knows that whatever he is going through is but a token of what actually should have been given to him. Because Krishna is very kind. And knowing this, he gladly accepts whatever is happening to him in his life as Krishna's blessing, praying, and always being in a grateful mode, and knowing that, okay, what Krishna you want to teach me from this? Let me learn it quick. Thank you for giving me a token punishment of what I should have suffered. Maybe my head was supposed to be cut off, but only my finger got cut off. Maybe I was supposed to completely burn and die in a fire, but only my hand got burned. Maybe I was supposed to suffer with no food and water for a year, but I only lost my job. Maybe like that, a devotee should think. And then the last line says, Jeeve tayo mukti pade sadaya lag. That for such a person, going back to Krishna becomes his rightful claim. That means he's fully eligible for liberation. That is the mindset or the attitude a devotee should have. And it's not an artificial attitude. This is what Krishna is saying. He takes charge of our life. And if we switch it, we will see there's a very beautiful statement made by one devotee. So one devotee asked him one day, one question was asked, Maharaj, why in my life we suffer so much? Why devotees suffer so much? Why I have to go through the went on? The Maharaj gave one line. He said, I'm going to say something, think very deeply about this. Okay. So we are also going to think about this. And he said, in this world, pain is compulsory, but suffering is optional. What does that mean?
We should take pain as a lesson rather than pondering upon it.
Okay, let's begin with that one. Very good. So he's making a difference here. One is pain. So what is he referring to as pain?
What's objectively happening?
Sorry?
What's objectively happening to you? Right.
Subjectively or objectively?
Objectively.
Yes, absolutely. What is happening to us will happen.
Yeah.
Right? That's as karma phala or the situation that. So objectively, the world is a place of suffering. We are going to go through something or the other. Krishna himself, Krishna's own life in this particular world was such a challenge, right? So pain is that objective part, but what is the suffering he's referring to?
Your reaction.
Yes, our internal state, our reaction, how much of that pain we translate into our mind and make it big. My daughter is 6, and I notice that, and my son is 2.5. When my son gets hurt, it doesn't bother, blood is coming, he keeps playing. My daughter little, whoa, 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 and she'll come to, I can't even see it. I said, where is it? Whoa, 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 bandit. And I keep telling her, it's in your mind, making it like, oh, the more big it will become. And I look at this boy, he just got hurt, he's bleeding. I have to stop him and say, hey, put some band-aid, he doesn't care. Because it's, so pain in our life, and this can really transform the degree we experience adversity in our life and release us from just being stuck that I'm suffering, I'm paining, to, okay, what is the lesson in this? What is the opportunity here? What is it required? What does Krishna want me to grow from this? What can I do internally, externally, so many things. If we just focus, so that's what that statement meant, right? So as you very rightly said, what did you say?
So I said, it's a lesson because if a caterpillar has to become a butterfly, right, it has to go to the struggle. So
Very true. And what did you say before that? Pain. When I said the statement that pain is compulsory but suffering is optional, and you said one thing which led to this discussion.
I said we.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a lesson. I said.
Yes. So we see it as a lesson. One is we can see it as I'm suffering, I'm paining, or we can see, okay, what is the lesson Krishna wants me to learn here? And the whole objective, the purpose of suffering is a lesson. We are not put in a place we are not just being tortured for no reason. Everything we are going through is very purposeful, very intentional. And the minute we come into this state, and you'll really see it if you're going through anything in your life, big or small, just start praying. Okay, let's all, what 2-3 important points should be in our prayer when we are going through adversity?
Give me the strength.
Very nice, very nice. One is, please give me the strength. Please give me the intelligence,
Wisdom, yeah.
the wisdom for what?
To do the right step.
Yes, to have the right reaction, to have the right listen, right? What else can we pray?
Back soon.
Huh?
Call me back soon.
Okay, so true. So we can say that, please teach me, please, I really want to learn what it is that you want to teach me. What is it that I need to go through to learn something, to grow something, to what shift in my consciousness, in my life, in my understanding, in my mindset, what do you require from me that this is happening in my life?
He's saying something.
Yes.
Please give me the opportunity to serve.
Oh, so nice. True. That okay. Please allow me to see the opportunity in this. Right? Because see, that's actually such a contradictory mindset it may feel. Right? If you're going through suffering and you're praying, what's the opportunity? It may feel stupid, you're just going through suffering, there's no opportunity there. There is opportunity everywhere. Krishna never shuts any, everything is an opportunity, yes? So the wisdom and to see that, okay, what is it? What's the opportunity here? What, spiritually, of course, we are talking everything in spiritual direction. What is it here? Okay. And yes, and these kinds of prayers really change how we experience that suffering and what we go through. So this week, do an experiment. Take something you're going through and really want to sit and sincerely pray for 2 minutes. And you will get an answer. Because Krishna answers every prayer. Do you think Krishna answers every prayer? 100%. 100 and 1000%. There's no prayer Krishna cannot answer. And then we see there's no, that won't be right instruction. He'll answer every prayer. Okay, question number, okay, so the second part was, does Krishna not protect his devotees? If we are going through adversity, we are going through troubled times, does that mean Krishna does not protect his devotees?
It does. But it's really hard for us to go through that, you know.
True, true. Interesting. So you said a good point. It is very hard for us to go through it, but we go through it. Krishna's protection, you will see, is he will never allow you to go through something which you can't handle. You won't go over the tipping point. You won't lose yourself. You won't break you. You won't, whatever the Pandavas went through, at the right moment Krishna came. Right? And that is how Krishna deals very wonderfully with us. Why again? Because he wants to quicken the process. He wants to make it quick. One life only, finish off all your lessons and come back to me. And that's why he gives extra. It's like in I used to attend classes, and I'm sure there used to be this normal regular batch, and then there's a special students batch where they are on
Fast track.
accelerated curriculum, and that is like every 3 days. And one may feel, oh, look at them suffering more, I am having peaceful. No, but they are learning faster, they're going faster, they'll get much better result. Same as our life under Krishna. It may seem a little too much, but Krishna is making it quick, faster.
Like this question,
Yeah.
Krishna is alive,
Yeah.
and he's in my heart,
Yes.
and he's all over the place, and you
Yeah.
know what is in our mind.
Yes.
And you are a devotee, and you're talking to Krishna, and you want response. How fast you can get a response? Because I know many times I talk, if anything you want to know, Krishna is alive. If you have difficulty doing something and you ask him, nobody can figure out. He gives you some time. He is in your heart, and he have to help you.
Yes.
If he's alive, he have to help you.
Uh,
If you eat with meditation, or you doing chanting, and say, you ask Krishna, we help you.
Mm.
Help you you not ask him alone. You focus.
mm.
And I know when you do that, sometimes he help you all the time, and
Yeah.
he guide you all the time. He
Yes.
bring you, he show you, he give you direction, like Prabhupada,
Yeah.
how Krishna was giving
Yeah.
direction.
Yes.
He could give any of the devotee direction.
Yes.
They have a difficulty thing, and I talk to him. They say, Krishna, I know how I got to do with this, how I can deal with
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
And he will, if he is alive, if you believe and you have faith in him, he will answer you. He will tell you. He will give you fast information.
Yes. Why do you think if?
Because some people not fully surrender to Krishna. They not believe they can do that. When you believe,
Sure.
say, if you believe, say, okay, he will do this, you believe, and he can do it. Like
Sure.
a child, you surrender to the Lord and you believe for him.
Yes. True.
But plenty but not fully believe in that, like, so
Yes.
Krishna could respond.
Yes.
Because I just
But
scared.
even if you don't fully believe, Krishna will reciprocate in your life.
Yeah, because sometimes I just scared, because
Yeah.
I don't want to ask him too much thing, because he give you direction and you don't want to follow all the thing where you give you. So you don't want to ask him too much thing, because you're not ready to surrender that fully.
Yes.
So he could give you direction and say, this not good, I will go show you the negative, but you can say, okay, I want to try it a little more, you understand?
Yeah.
You don't want to fully surrender to
True,
that, you're not
true.
ready for that yet.
True, true.
So you don't want to ask him too much thing, because he can tell you, he can give
You don't, what are you saying, you don't want to ask him too much?
too much, because you give direction and you're not gonna follow all the direction.
That's okay,
You could
but we
do-
have to ask.
Yeah, but.
Like a son will ask his father, and sometimes how many of us always followed our parents? No, right? But we asked our parents.
And like you was talking about the money, like, you desire for a car now, when you want them for work, for devotion service, for work and chanting and do everything. So Krishna will give you the car very fast, but
Yes.
if you want them for your own personal pleasure, he never want to give you that. If you get the royal money and you want this money, but this money, he gonna help you more advance in spiritual life, then he could give you everything. He could give you idea how to make this money.
True.
You never go school and know nothing, and you go surprised say you can make all this money, because Krishna will help you, because you don't get, like Mahatma Gandhi said.
True, true. But
We are
stop-
the trustee for the
Yes.
large property, but
Yes.
you don't get no attachment to this
True,
material thing.
true.
So he will
That's a
give
good
you
point.
everything. Doesn't mean Krishna devotee will remain poor, but because you don't get attachment to the thing, this thing belongs to the Lord, you understand? So he will give you everything, because you don't want this thing for your personal pleasure.
Sure.
You
If-
want them for devotion
Yes,
service for the Lord.
Krishna will give us whatever is best for our devotion.
Best for us.
Yes, whether it's to give us
Doesn't
full
mean you're gonna remain
opulence or
poor,
not.
doesn't mean
Yeah.
you're gonna remain poor, because
Maybe in some cases.
if you want something, anything you want in life, and we call devotion, if you not devote your time and devote, you will have nothing in life. If you're not devotion service means devote your life, focus. If you want to become a millionaire, the first thing you gotta think, say, you got to be a different person. You got to think, how am I gonna do that? How can I, then you go get a lot of idea, you never come like right away you go get it. You got to be a different person.
Absolutely.
You want money.
So we'll go to the second part of the
Second
question.
part.
Does Krishna not protect his devotees? That's what we discussed. Okay, part 2. Does a devotee of the Lord suffer from karmic reactions? Our karmic reactions are burnt off. So we kind of answered that question and discussion. Okay, question 3. If suffering comes in my life, this is a good one. If suffering comes in my life, then I may slow down in my Krishna consciousness and become preoccupied in setting right my material situations. Then why does the Lord allow such things to happen? It's an intelligent question. We can think that, okay, Krishna just keeps everything smooth, then I better way to do my devotional service. Right? If I don't have to bother about job, everything is simple, every Friday I can come, everything is perfect, then I'll grow in my devotion. Then why Krishna doesn't do it? Would that be true? Okay, suppose, imagine in your life everything went smooth and nice, and I'm not saying perfect, but smooth, okay. Then wouldn't it be easier to do devotional service?
Yes.
My experience.
Are you gonna do it though? Are you gonna do the devotional service? Or
Okay,
you just,
question one could come, as he's saying is, sitting here today we may think of whole life, but consistency is really tested sometimes. After 1 week, after 1 month, after 1 year, that's a good question. Are we really going to keep going? Okay, what else? Anything else about this point? If we are just going to be smooth throughout.
Like my 2 sons right now, like, they get everything in life, and then don't want to practice anything, because like,
True.
everything is there, anything they want to have. But you ask them, oh, I don't want to come on the Monday, or I don't want to come on, they don't want to do anything, like, because
True.
everything.
No, but what
comes
about
from-
our life? I'm saying
Our-
just our life.
Yeah.
In our life, everything is going to be smooth. What do you think? So he brought up a good point. Are you sure? Can you give a guarantee that everything will be yes?
I feel like when I'm going through distress, then I think about Lord more.
Ah.
When I'm in peace of mind, money is coming, then I'm like, not doing my devotion more properly.
True. How many of you have had this experience? What she just said.
I'm
Correct?
sorry.
Somehow, it's just that I've noticed on a regular day, japa is very, but if something is going on, then japa is Krishna, Krishna, please. You know, so japa is good and all that, right? That's a good point. Yes.
So I was just wanting to say the same because like if a person who is very well off or everything is good in his life, he wants to be in the material world more,
Right.
and he wouldn't want to seek help from
Yes.
Krishna.
Yes.
So when he's in suffering, he would want to seek help because all the other things in his life cannot help him. Only Krishna can help.
Yes, that's true.
Yes.
And Kunti Maharani had this exact same prayer. Kunti Maharani's life, you know, Kunti you all know, right? She's the mother of Pandavas and Karna. Very true. So, this great personality, Kunti, who's spoken about in the Bhagavatam, she has a beautiful prayer. Was her life good, suffering? How was her life? How would you rate her life?
Full of suffering.
Full of suffering from day one. You know, her husband dies, then the children are born, then children are attacked, then ups and downs, and miserable life actually. Horrible life. She never had one day of happiness and real, genuine joy, nothing. But at the end of the Mahabharata, now years of suffering have happened. Pandavas are finally sitting on the throne, Kauravas are dead. Finally, it was maybe after 80 years, she one day finally was like the Rajkumari, the queen of Hastinapur, which she should have been from birth. I mean, from her day of marriage. Now finally she's there, and Krishna is about to leave to Dwarka, and the prayers of Queen Kunti, that is what she's speaking. And she says this beautiful shloka. She says, Vipada santu ya shashvat tatra tatra jagatguru. She says, first what she does in her prayers is she describes all that she went through her whole life. And one may think that the next shloka is going to be, Krishna, finally everything's over. Thank you, you did your job, bye bye, go now to Dwarka. But the last shloka, after listing out everything, she keeps telling Krishna, thank you, you saved us. When my children were just young and they had no father to protect them, you came like this and saved us. When Bhima was bitten, you saved him and gave him Amrit. When they set fire to our house, you came as a secret messenger and he escaped. When Durvasa came to eat at the house of Pandavas, you appeared and immediately from the Akshapatra you took this. When in the Mahabharata war, my son took a vow to kill Jayadratha, you covered the sun and you made it possible. And she lists many incidents. At the end she says, but my dear Krishna, now I have a big fear. Now everything is perfect, now everything is done and you are leaving, now I will forget you. I wish that all those calamities and sufferings come again in my life. Because if they come, I am sure at the end of this life I'll go back to God because I'll always remember Him. But if you leave and everything is perfect, I won't remember you anymore. Then she says, please don't leave. Right? So that's the understanding of a devotee. As Jalabal rightly said, we keep needing some little pinch. Because the nature of our nature is to become little lazy and procrastinate and lethargic, and we become materially comfortable. We immediately settle down. So again, Krishna gives a little chakra, gives a little jerk, and keep going, and then we keep going. Okay, we have 5 minutes with not even a minute. So maybe one thing we can do quickly. I'll just read a few of these important points. See, one interesting thing he's saying here is, sometimes the purpose is that in distress, a devotee's feelings of attachment to Krishna are magnified. A question may come, is the feeling which we get towards Krishna during distress, is it a pure feeling or is it just asking for help? Shouldn't we just ask, purely cry to Krishna when we are happy? Why Krishna is to first put us in suffering, then we call to Krishna? That is not increasing our devotion, that is just help me, just get me out of this. Then why Krishna is counting it under that category that your devotion is magnified? Why? You understand the question, right? If I'll put it another way, suppose you have a friend, and only when he's in trouble he phones you. Will you like it? One time, two time, three, fourth time you say get lost. Only when you're in trouble. So aren't we doing that with Krishna? Why then Krishna is giving us suffering? Why is he counting it? Will you tell of what a good friend? Every time he's suffering, he calls me up. People will laugh at your friendship. But Krishna is that kind of friend. Every time we are suffering, we call him only when we are suffering, and Krishna says, "Thank you for calling me." Why?
And also we are remembering and we are more attached. We are seeking this blessings and
For what are we seeking? That's one very important point. There's a we are approaching Krishna for what particularly as devotees?
We want to be happy.
To be
For
with us.
protection. Protection.
Of what?
for
Okay.
protection.
Uh,
This is the life.
To be with us. To give strength to overcome.
Go
Why?
back to God.
Yes. Our ultimate objective is Krishna, I want to come closer to you. With that intention we are praying. With that intention, the friend is calling you saying, "Hey, I'm in trouble and I'm remembering you, but I want to build a better friendship with you. The rest of my life I'm so busy and this, that, if you help me, I can spend more time with you." Then it changes. Then you understand, thanks for you, okay. Same we are doing for Krishna. That Krishna, I'm suffering, I want to come to you. I want you in my life. Right? That's the whole difference, right? Otherwise we are just we are not approaching Krishna for material things in that sense. Externally, yes, we are approaching Krishna saying, "Please solve this problem, give me this." We can pray to Krishna, but the objective, the inner thing is, Krishna, I want to be a better devotee. So solve my situation. Right? If you see the life of the Pandavas, it may seem very materialistic help. They are saying, "First save us from the fire." Then they are saying, "We want to sit on the throne." Then they are saying, "Hey, this person is coming, how do we attack him? Krishna, help us, you become Shanti Dut." Externally, it's all material. Then what is the difference between Duryodhana asking Krishna for help and Arjuna asking for help? What is the difference?
Devotion.
Yes, the objective was, I want to become a better devotee. I want to come to you. I know the ultimate goal of life is to go back to Godhead. That's my ultimate goal. My ultimate goal is not becoming richer, getting the better job. If that's the goal, once we get it, then we leave Krishna forever. But we, as devotees, I think this is a very crucial point of what gives us that right to pray to Krishna in troubled times. Otherwise, we are like, then Krishna is like anybody else. Then we can go to a rich person and ask for help out of the situation. Then what's the difference? Right? The main reason we are going to Krishna is, Krishna, I want to come to you. I want you only in my life. I want to go back to God. I understand I'm not the body, I'm the soul. I'm an eternal servant of Krishna. I want to come back to you. In this situation, which I'm going through, I'm not able to do my spiritual life properly. Please help me in this situation. Please solve the situation for me. I'm not able to do my duties and responsibilities which you have given. The people I'm supposed to care for, who are your parts and parcels, perhaps family and friends and community and society and nation or whatever it may be, whatever my duties, everything is given by you. For me to do that well and to serve you in that way, please help me solve the situation. But the main core is my eternal service to you. That's why I'm praying to you. That's why Krishna loves our prayer and welcomes our prayer.
Yeah, because sometimes when you work and you feel like you're boring, like the day not done. But if you're chanting Him, if you practice your chant all the time, you feel like the day done fast, everything will go fast. You not feel boring.
Yeah.
Because
True.
it's not like you
One
want to
day
go back to
Krishna
Krishna,
is-
but Krishna make it all the hard work come easy. Like
Yes.
everything are done so fast, the day are done.
Absolutely.
Because their life generally
Okay,
lives.
so in this situation, suppose you approach Krishna for material desire. Is that okay?
Is that okay if you are spending that material, just whatever you have in service of Krishna?
True, but suppose you purely approach Krishna for material desire. Is that okay? If some of your
It's
friends
okay.
or some, it is, on what basis are you saying it's okay?
It was in the Bhagavad Gita, you can do that.
Where else
Well,
we can go? He's the
Yeah.
source of everything.
Yes.
Okay, can you tell me a story, which is very famous story, which shows that even if you have material desire, huh? Yes, Guru Maharaj, right? There was pure material desire, and he became a pure devotee. It's true. But when we know, then we should. Because that is allowance for someone who doesn't know innocently is approaching Krishna. Dhruv was innocent. He was neutral. He just wanted a solution. But because he approached Krishna, he got purified. And same way, if anybody comes to Krishna, we don't stop them. Akama sarva kamova moksha kama udarani tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. We tell everybody, you just come to Krishna. Whatever you want, you come to Krishna. But of course, as devotees, now that we know, then we should approach him purely only.
So, Prabhuji, what about Sudama?
Sudama is an interesting case. Sudama, it's a good question, yes. Sudama never wanted his own. So if you see the story very detailed, so whole life Sudama is beggar. But whole life Sudama knew Krishna, because when you read the story, you'll see his children know all the Krishna pastimes. So whole life he was Krishna, he was a pure devotee. And he never wanted to go to Krishna, but after many years his wife every day would poke him, at least go to Krishna once. Just, we don't want palace, we can't survive, look at your children. Then he gets a little guilty, okay, for children's sake I'll go. Then he ties that poha and he goes to Krishna. But he never asks Krishna anything, correct? He gets scared, and whole 7 days, how many days, he doesn't ask anything. On his way back, he feels guilty of what I tell my wife. He said, no, I just tell her, I can't, how can I ask Krishna? He's my friend. But Krishna gives me everything.
Krishna
So,
know he was.
so in his heart, if you see, he had no material desire. He was pure. In fact, he was so pure, he felt embarrassed to ask Krishna for something. And this we can see in the life of Tukaram, or that kind of, there are those kinds of devotees who, even Prahlad, if you see the story, he never prays for protection. He says, Rakhe Krishna Mareke, Hare Krishna Rakhe. Krishna wants to kill me, you kill me. Krishna wants to protect me, you protect me. Whatever Krishna wants to do, you do. But still Krishna protected them every time. And in the story of the Pandavas, Gajendra, etc., we see active seeking protection, or actively even seeking something, like, do this or do that, or give me this, give me that. Both are equal, because they were ultimately asked by a pure devotee. And they were asked not for the purpose of that particular thing, but for the purpose of Krishna, I want to love you. And to love you better, please give me this. And that's fair, that a devotee. So therefore, as devotees, we should bring our problems to Krishna. Because Krishna is like a loving father. As I mentioned rightly, who else will we go to? And then Krishna will feel, if you don't go to your father with a problem, he'll feel, why are you going? Like, come to me. So we should happily be able to go. At the same time, knowing that this is not my objective. We propose to Krishna in the way, Krishna, if you think this is best for me, then please let this happen. With my little intelligence, I think if this happens, it will be good. But I surrender to your choice for me in this. If you think, then please let it happen. And it may happen, or it may not happen. And then both we accept, because we've offered it to Krishna, then we at least are satisfied that Krishna is doing this in my life, whether good or bad. Okay. Another thing he's writing is, when a devotee, after experiencing the distress of the material world, relishes spiritual happiness, his position is very pleasant and enjoyable. It's true, because sometimes if there's too much material opulence, you may not value spiritual joy or spiritual bliss, or it may just, therefore, for people in a very opulent position, same prayer by Kunti Mani, Janma Ishwarya Shrita Shri Edamana Mata Puma Naivar Hatya Vidhatum Vai Toma Kinchana Gocharam. She says, if someone has got very pious birth, opulent, already born with a silver spoon, born in a billionaire family, Janma Ishwarya, too much beauty, fame, Shruta, very learned, and Shri, a lot of followers and everything. Such people can't easily come to you, because they are tasting so much material happiness, they think they are spiritual. But Tvam Akinchana Gojani. Akinchana means someone who is poverty stricken. The heart is completely, he doesn't want, materially he's done. I want something higher. Such a person can come to you, Krishna. And the last thing for today, we're a little over time. He says, because he has no one to look after him completely, takes shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. And because he fully, in fact, it is one of the anukulyasya sankalpo pratikulasya varjana. Go. What's the next one? Pratikulasya varjana. And there are the 6 symptoms of surrender, and one of them is Goptritve Varanam Atmanikshepa Karpan. So he's saying that accepting the Lord as one's protector and maintainer is a symptom of surrender. To really feel in my heart that Krishna is my protector, he is my maintainer, he is the source of my livelihood, he is the source of my happiness. That is a big step of surrender. And therefore we have to happily go to Krishna. When he's saying, Lord Krishna said to you this, my devotee is not deterred by any adverse condition. He always remains firm and steady. Therefore I give myself to him and I favor him so that he can achieve the highest success of life. So the part 2 of this whole thing, maybe we'll do someday. This is also very interesting. Which gives tips on how to remain steady in Krishna consciousness. Okay, so we will conclude here. Is there any very pressing questions?
So it's very basic for go to first line. Why should there be troubles in life after devotee? But when I say devotee, if we look at the what are the definitions of devotee given in the Shastras,
Yeah.
I feel we are nowhere. I mean,
Yes.
I'm not we,
Very
I am
nice.
nowhere.
Yeah, very nice.
So I'm not doing maybe around someday, not even offering someday or missing prasadam. So do you still qualify to be called as devotee and get that benefits?
Very good question. Very good question. Yes. What is the criteria of coming under this category of devotee? In the Ramayana, when Hanuman, when they are just Sita's day, Hanuman's come back, and the final stages of preparation are going on. At that time, Vibhishan tells Ravan that you're a fool. And what does Ravan do? He kicks him and says, "Get out of here." And Vibhishan and 4 of his ministers, they're coming towards Ram's main thing. While they're approaching, Sugriv and Angad and Hanuman and all the ministers come and they say, "Hey, the brother of Ravan is coming." Now, mind you, we know the story, but that time nobody knows the story. Vibhishan, who was so everyone, brother of the enemy, main brother is coming. What they'll expect? Immediately, a meeting is held, and Angad is, "I'll kill them there." Vali is like, "I'll attack." All these things going on. Ram is asking each one's advice. Then finally comes to Hanuman. What do you think? Hanuman says, "I observed something. That when I went in that assembly, he was the only one who was telling Ravan, don't burn him. Don't kill him. He's a messenger." And when he spoke that, I realized actually he's not on Ravana's side. And I think he's actually coming to surrender to you. So I think at least we should give him a chance to speak, and then you decide. And then Ram replies. Ram says, "I accept everyone's advice, and Hanuman, you were close to what I think. But for me, if he has come to surrender, I will make him the king of Ayodhya. In fact, if Ravana comes and surrenders, he says, I will make Vibhishan the king of Lanka if he has come to surrender. And if Ravana comes to surrender, everyone is waiting. What will he do? He says, I will make him the king of Ayodhya. And then someone says, what about Jeta? You also promised him. He says, I will make him the king of Ayodhya. That one day, if someone, even like Ravan, if he decides for one moment, from now on, I'm yours. In the Valmiki Ramayana, it's a nice shloka where Ram is saying that the minute someone just says once, I am yours, from that day on, he says, I fully take their life and I fully am with them, no matter what happens in the future. Because in the future, again, a person will experience up and down. And we see it in the life of the disciples of Prabhupada. When so many of disciples of Prabhupada, the young ones, they were hardly in their 20s, some were teenagers. They gave their life for a few years, some of them. Many of them, till today, they are glorious and so on, but so many of them, just few years, they gave their heart and soul, but they left. Prabhupada, when they would tell Prabhupada, uh, Gary has left. I feel very hurt. You say, why? What happened? He ran away with that girl and he's gone back to his drugs. Prabhupada will feel very sad. And then Prabhupada said, he has served Krishna. Krishna will save him. And so many incidences are there. Like I'll tell you one incident. This name I made up, but there was one Hayagri who served Prabhupada for many, many years till Prabhupada was on the planet. He did a lot of, he was an editor, very intelligent, very smart. He did a lot of editing, helped Prabhupada a lot. But after Prabhupada left the planet, within 3 years, he couldn't take it anymore. He lost faith, apparently. He stopped chanting, he stopped associating with devotees, and he went to live with his, got married, went somewhere, cut off from devotees for many, 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 many years. 30, 40 years later, somewhere in the 95, 96 year, suddenly an email came to Jayapataka Maharaj from one, forgetting what his name was in Western name, that I was a disciple of Prabhupada, my name is Hayagri, and I'm suffering from cancer, and I'm about to die in a few months. The only thing I'm remembering is the prasadam I used to eat in the temple was so tasty. Is there a temple nearby? And Maharaj was excited that this is that same. He wrote back, where are you? So first the devotees found him in some remote corner of America. He was living somewhere. He was kind of very old, like barely had any money left and everything. And devotees immediately arranged to start giving him prasadam and everything. The last 3 months of his life, he became such a devotee. He started chanting again, everything. And every day he would just say that when I left, the only thing every day I would remember was Prabhupada. And I would feel why did I leave Prabhupada? But I was so attached again to my drugs and this, and I couldn't leave. But every day in my heart I would remember. Every day he said I remembered Prabhupada for all these 35 years. And he said one more thing. He said, when I was with Prabhupada one day, when I was doing this transcription, I asked Prabhupada this question, Prabhupada, after you leave, suppose I leave also, what will happen? Prabhupada smiled and told me, I will never leave you, I will come to save you. And he told this to the devotees. So towards the end of his life, finally his cancer, in 3 months almost he was going to leave. The last few days, every day devotees were coming, doing kirtan, everything. And towards the end, he had almost become, his cancer had sucked his body out so much, barely he could even get up or anything. He was doing kirtan, little few liquid he was eating, that's it. The last day of his life, one day they were doing kirtan, it was towards evening time. Suddenly he sat up with full energy. Prabhupada, you've come. And he left his body. Yeah, some of you heard the story. That is so. I was saying this in this connection that if once we sincerely say, Krishna, I'm yours, from that day on, that is the definition of devotee. Because to reach that point of a sincere desire that I want to go back home, it's not an ordinary thing. It's not an intellectual adjustment. You are not just sitting here. Intellectually, it can't happen. You can't intellectually read the Gita and say, oh, I think I should go back to God this way. That when it comes from the heart, when it's a deep conviction, then that defines whether you're chanting 1 round or 10 rounds or 100 rounds, whether you offer your food or not. That sincere thing, of course, that will happen naturally. All the kind of the processes of bhakti and the externals of bhakti will come because you're a sincere soul. But the point at which you're asking that, what point is this? Does Krishna not protect his devotee? To be called devotee is just this one point. That when that person, and therefore we also don't know. Sometimes a new person may come, we say, how do you know internally what is his internal state? Maybe a great devotee. Okay, so, and of course you are right. From our own point of view, we should always feel unwanted devotee. To be humble, we shouldn't think devotee. We always feel, no matter how great we are, what we are doing, you rightly said, we should always feel, Krishna, please accept me. I know I'm not a devotee. I know I know all the dirt in my heart. I know what all I have done. That is the best state for us. Then we are really devotees.
And this one point, so we should think, we should do more. Always.
Yes,
So
true.
we can't believe, this is enough. You say, okay,
Yeah.
I'm trying to do more. I'm trying to be better.
Correct. All the time we have to keep wishing more, doing more. So thank you very much, and we will conclude our discussion here. maybe let us end again with a few more minutes of kirtan. And especially now we'll sing the same tune, so you know the same tune. But for the next just 10 minutes, again very deeply, when we are praying, think of what we have discussed and take these 10 minutes to allow your heart to deeply pray to Krishna, to whatever in today's discussion deeply touched your mood, you pray with that intention to Krishna. So just take 10 more minutes, and we have a Mridanga player, and Dhatri, you are also a Mridanga player. You play that. You put the lights off. Jai Shri Shri Krishna Balaram ki Jai. Om Shankara Krishna Vishwaya Srimati Bhakti Namaste Sastra Kalani Vachana Shesha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Shri Vatsala Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. One last time together. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Jai Shri Krishna Balarama ki Jai, Radha Gopinath Ashta Sakhi ki Jai, Shri Shri Pancha Tattva ki Jai, Shri Srinivasana Bhagwan ki Jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani ki Jai, Shara Goswami ki Jai, Shri Guru Parampara ki Jai, Shratopal ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hare Hare Bol.
Prabhu, can you say Hudson?
That's it, right? Yeah, maybe someone can.
You can sing.
You're talking. Yeah, you sing.
Jaya Narasimhadev, 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 Jaya नरसिंह भगवान की जय।
You can do it from here.
Mahaprasade Govinde,
Mahaprasade Govinde,
Namo Brahmane Vaishnave,
Namo Brahmane Vaishnave,
Salpa Punyam Vatan Raja,
Sarva Punyavatam Rajan,
Krishna Sonava Jayate,
Vishwasona Jayate,
Sharira Vidyaja,
Sharira Vidyaja,
Yogendriya Taheka,
Jodendriya Taheka,
Jive Pele Se Sagare,
Jive Pere Visasagare,
Taramaja Jihayati,
Taramadya Jivati,
Lobo Mai Sudurmati,
Lobo Mai Sudurmati,
Take Jeta Katina Samsare,
Take Jeta Katina Samsare,
Krishna Varadaya Mai,
Krishna Varadaya Mai,
Kari Vara Jihajai,
Kari Vare Jivajai,
Saprasadana Tilobai,
Saprasadana Lilobai,
Say Annavrita Pao,
Say Annamrita Pao,
Radha Krishna Gunagao,
Radha Krishna Gunagao,
Premeda Ko Chaitanya Nitai,
Premeda Ko Chaitanya Nitai,
Jaini Mai Jainitai,
Jaini Mai Jainitai,
Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya,
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya,
Prabhu Nityananda,
Prabhu Nityananda,
Shri Advaita Gadadara,
Sri Advaita Gadadhara,
Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda,
Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Bhagavad Mahaprasad ki
Jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone for attending. I have one more last thing to say. Now when we're all going to go from Prasadam, are you all on the WhatsApp group?
Yes.
So I've posted 5 questions on the WhatsApp group, and I have a suggestion, if you wish. You can sit with someone whom you don't know, and you have to answer these 5 questions to each other. It's related to this topic. Okay, just to help us know each other, and also have a nice Krishna conscious discussion while we honor Prasadam. Thank you very much.
Good night.
Hare Krishna.